This is the 2020 Mazda MX-5 Miata RF in Grand Touring trim. And you could buy this car for $35,000. And if you're even on the fence about buying this car, the right answer is yes, you should go out and buy it. I think it should be every automotive enthusiast's goal to either own or drive a Miata at least once in their lifetime, because then you'll have a frame of reference as to what a good handling car feels like, and how that SUV that you think handles well, in reality, it handles like crap. The Miata is pure automotive joy, and in this video I want to share with you my personal likes and dislikes so that you have a better idea before you go out and buy it. This Miata is in its 4th generation, which came out in 2016, also known as the ND Miata. But for 2019 model year, Mazda had the genius idea of putting in a reworked 2-liter engine that now makes 181 horsepower. That's a big increase compared to the 155 horsepower engine for the 2016 to 2018 model years. The red line has also gone up to 7,500 RPMs, which means that you can hit 60 miles per hour in second gear. And all new for 2020, Bilstein Sport Tune suspension is now standard on the Grand Touring models. And if you get the manual transmission, you'll also get the limited slip differential included. This being the Grand Touring trim, that means that you'll find the leather seats in here, also Mazda's navigation system, automatic climate control, rain sensing wipers, auto headlights, auto dimming mirrors, and adaptive front lighting system. That's a significant upgrade considering the $1,400 price differential between the Club and the Grand Touring trim. If you're looking for a great sports car with everyday usability, get the Grand Touring trim. Personally, I would go with the Club trim, not just because it comes stock with the more aggressive looking front lip, but that you can also opt for the Brembo BBS Recaro package. Now, it's not cheap, it's almost $4,700, but you get the big Brembo front brakes, forged 17-inch BBS wheels, a more aggressive aero all around, and also heated black Recaro sport seats. Whichever one you go with, the driving experience is so exhilarating in the Mazda Miata. This being the RF, or the retractable fastback, driving with the top up means that it feels just like driving in a traditional car. I imagine that you can drive it all year round. It also doesn't have the problems associated with soft top convertibles, so road noise is great in here. It's more secure, and the look of the RF with the top up is stunning. I think it looks way better with the top up than down. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And when the top is down, the driving experience is much improved. You hear more of the engine note and the exhaust. Driving feels more exhilarating because you're so close to the ground and you feel the wind rushing through. It feels like you're driving so much faster than you really are. With the top up or down, the Miata just handles so well, and there's really 2 reasons why. The first one is the weight. Now, this car weighs 2,450 pounds. That's 100 pounds heavier than the soft top version. But if you compare it to other sedans around you, which normally weighs around 3,400 to 3,500 pounds, this is about 1,000 pounds, at least 1,000 pounds less than all of those other cars around you. And because of that, this car is very easy to maneuver and toss around. You also don't need big hardware to achieve great performance, so you don't need big meaty tires, or big brakes, or even a big engine. This is literally more with less, and you'll also get great gas mileage. You'll get 26 city and 34 highway. I think you have to try really hard to get awful gas mileage numbers in this car. The second reason is that the Mazda Miata has proper sports car equipment. Like I mentioned earlier, the Bilstein Sport Tune shock absorbers is now standard on the Grand Touring models. These shocks are firm, and when combined with the car's lightweight body, driving over rough roads can be a bit jarring. But for a sports car, you want that firmness because it improves road feel. All RF Miatas also come equipped with the shock tower brace. This upgrade is found in almost all Miatas except for the base soft top sport model. Surrounding those front shocks are the double wishbone suspension. That's a Miata standard. Other cars in this price range normally have a McPherson strut style suspension. Both are very good, but double wishbone suspensions have some extra geometrical benefits. The first one is packaging. You can pack everything in a little bit tighter and lower so that you have a lower center of gravity. And the second is that there's favorable camber changes when your suspensions is loaded or unloaded, like going through a high-speed corner. Lastly, worth noting again, the RF with manual transmissions come with limited slip differential. That is an engineering marvel that's not found in all cars. Simply put, it allows you to distribute torque to both rear wheels in all situations. You won't see the benefit of an LSD in everyday driving situations, but it becomes apparent when you take it through the twisties, autocross, or track days. You'll find that you get more grip, more traction, and you could really power through the corners. Overall, the Mazda Miata has awesome handling characteristics. This car just talks to you so well, and it never feels like there's ever going to be any surprises. You can sense the limits of grip, whereas in more powerful cars and heavier cars, that area is a bit more gray, where it requires a greater amount of driving skill to fully appreciate, whereas this car is extremely easy to drive. And it also helps that the driving ergonomics is very good. Steering is magnificent. It's tight and responsive. And for these ND2 Miatas, the steering wheel is also telescoping, so it can fit more drivers of different sizes. Pedal placement should also be a gold standard and copied everywhere else, because it is perfect. Heel and towing just feels so natural in this car, and it is highly encouraged every time you take an exit ramp. The 6-speed manual transmission is also placed perfectly here. It clicks into gears so well. It is highly satisfying to shift gears in the Mazda Miata. Obviously, Mazda has prioritized the driving ergonomics over everything else, and it shows, because the ergonomics of everything else kind of sucks. Take, for example, the placement of cup holders. It's ridiculous. The infotainment controls and volume knob is placed pretty far back, and it's uncomfortable to use. But that's all forgivable considering the tiny cabin space of the Mazda Miata and the limited space to package all the non-essentials. What's not forgivable is this awful infotainment system that feels so out of date. It's clumsy to use, it's slow, and I think it's in dire need of an upgrade. It is nice that there is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto integration, and if you want to use that, there's a USB plug up here and a small space to fit your phone right up here. There's other small flaws as well, considering no car is perfect. There's a bit more vibration with the top down, which makes sense because this car is less rigid that way. The blind spot is also quite bad given the large buttresses that's unique to the RF. And also the top can only be put up or down when you're going 6 miles per hour or less. I know, first world problems. But you quickly forget about all of those things once you start driving. Mazda has this design principle called Jinba Itai. It's Japanese for the oneness between horse and rider. And that's basically the design principle that Mazda has held for a while. The Mazda MX-5 Miata is the purest example of this design principle. This is the most fun sports car you can buy for $35,000. If you're shopping this against the Subaru BRZ or Toyota 86, you're not alone. Those cars offer so much more in utility and comfort than this purebred sports car. But all those extra nice-to-haves is basically diluting the concentrated formula of fun and enjoyment that you get in the Mazda Miata. I'm going to go back to what I said in the beginning about the Mazda Miata. If you're even on the fence about buying it, just do it. Go ahead and buy it, no regrets. Well, there you have it. That's my review of the 2020 Mazda MX-5 Miata RF in Grand Touring trim. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you learned something in this video, please consider hitting that like, hitting that subscribe, and also hitting that notification bell so that you can get notified anytime we make a new video. I'll wrap it up right there. This has been the venerable Mazda Miata. My name's Hanson, and I'll see you next time.